Hello, gorgeous fempreneur babes. How are we doing? Welcome to the Post Away Masterclass. In this masterclass, we're gonna go through all the different types of content that you can utilize and post on your Instagram, Facebook, or any social media feed. The whole aim of this masterclass is so that you can have like a bank of ideas, a whole slew of content with which you can plug back into and come back into, get your momentum going, get your creative juices moving. And that is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna have so much fun. So if you're hopping on here, say hello in the comments. And if you are catching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments and interact with this video as if you're watching this live. Hello, Annie. I'm so excited. Okay, so in this masterclass, you're gonna have a framework. By the end of this masterclass, you're gonna have a framework of content ideas. You're gonna have a framework within which your creativity can flow, within which you can plug back into your momentum and be like, yep, I get this. Okay, this makes sense, that makes sense, and we're gonna do this, okay? Hello, Jackie. So this is how I see social media, right? It is like a digital footprint. People are scrolling through your social media. As soon as they look at your profile, they're gonna be scrolling in your social media. They look at it, the first thing they look at is, hi Jackie, they look at your posts, right? All the different types of posts that you have, right? In your business matrix, okay? I see that this is what she's about. This is what she is available for. This is what she's not available for, okay? This is her personality. Okay, this is what she believes in. This is her thought. So it's like a digital footprint. As they scroll through it, they get to know more and more about who you are, what your business is about. It's an entire profile. They get a gist of who you are. They get a whiff of who you are. And that's what we want to play with. That's what we want to look at and see how we're able to connect with them through the different ways, right? So we want to create content that showcases who we are, that showcases ourselves, that showcases our work, our embodiment, our essence, our personality. And it's such a beautiful thing to do. I know a lot of people don't like social media, they hate on creating content, but this is where I come in. I want to change the way you see social media. I want to change the way you create your post and create your content, because it doesn't have to be this hard. It doesn't have to feel icky or feel like bland or feel like it's not fun anymore. It can feel all of those things, and at the same time, you get to conduct your business in that way, right? So that is what we're going to be changing today in this masterclass. So your content pulls people in. Your content can exude your magnetism, shows people what your personality is about, and is essentially the billboard of your business. And when it is a billboard for your business, it's gonna have all the pieces, all the elements of who you are, correct? So the different posts, they're like different pieces of puzzle. When they come together, it weaves into your business matrix. It weaves into your whole business model. And it is a quick glimpse, a quick billboard of what your business is about. So this is what we're gonna deep dive into, okay? What I wanna share with you is this. This used to baffle me. When I would sit down and create content, it was very much like, oh, what do I say today? I have nothing to say today. Like sometimes, yes, the ideas would flow, but because I was also new, and it was like, okay, I can only regurgitate the basic things. I can only say things that other people are talking about, and maybe I can say it in my own interpretation, but I wouldn't be excited. It just didn't get me that embodied feeling. It didn't make me feel like I was conveying my essence. I had this huge gap or filter through which when things go through, it would sound so bland, professional, basic, because I wasn't able to say it the way I wanted to say it. And because the things that I was saying, I just wanted to make sure it fitted in a mold, right? It sounded like appropriate. So it took obviously a lot of time. It took determination, grit, courage to actually find out what are some of the posts that makes it fun to create and embodies my essence and is able to attract my clients, because obviously I'm running a business and able to sell my offers. So these are some of, I can so relate, yes. So these are some of the things that we are going to look into, and you're gonna realize that it doesn't have to be this hard. The content types that we're going to talk through today are going to be the content types that meets you where your embodiment is. Right here, right now. Without needing more of branding, without needing more coaching, understanding of what marketing is, without needing more deepening of your work. The content types that we're gonna talk about is gonna meet you at the embodiment level that you're at. Because this is what we often feel. We feel like there's a huge gap between where we're at and where we want to be. How don't we sound like that? There's something missing. Like my content doesn't look right, doesn't feel good. It's just meh. And I don't even feel like talking about something like that. And that just drops our power. But here, the content types are going to show you where your power is. It's going to call onto your magic, call more onto your work. And the funny thing that you're going to notice is that it's going to deepen your work even more. And you're going to have fun doing it. Okay? These are the pieces that got my audience activated, talking about my content, saving my content. I usually have like people engage on my stories, on my post, like sending them to me and talking about it and saving them as opposed to liking it. So it actually gives you an idea of how people actually notice you, but most of them, they don't want to interact with you, and that's all good and fine. And what that means is that you just gotta show up as yourself, show up writing content pieces from this framework that I'm gonna provide you, and have fun with it. Okay, so housekeeping. Before we dive in, we have a giveaway for those who shared. So thank you so much for sharing on your IG, wherever you shared. We're gonna do a giveaway, but I'm gonna do the giveaway after this call, and then I'm gonna tag that person in the chat here, and then you will reach out to me. So the giveaway is a one-on-one call for 40 minutes, and we're gonna deep dive into everything beyond content, beyond whatever strategy, energetics you have going on in your business, and we're gonna bring in more magic into your business. All right? And if you're watching this live with me, I would suggest just plug into live energy, comment, interact with me, connect with me, and that deepens the teaching, right? As opposed to taking notes. You can always come back to this video and take notes. The video is going to be up in this group that you're in, and it's going to be pinned to the top, so you can always come back to it. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste these categories of content into the chat, and I'm gonna pin it to the top so that we can all refer back to it as we please. Let's see. Okay, did you guys get that? Okay, awesome. Okay, if it doesn't get pinned, I will add it to my caption. All right. So in this framework, you can already see value. There are three main categories that we're going to go through today. We're going to go through value, we're going to go through personal story, we're going to go through entertainment. Okay. So the way that I categorize it into these three categories is because these are the three different elements at play. It pulls onto different types of emotions, pulls onto different types of mental stimulus that gets people talking, gets people activated and attracted to your content. So we're gonna dive into the first one, which is the value. So why value? You know, like we're in this business, and value is so overplayed. It is so overplayed, right? We talk about every time we think people are always like, yeah, provide value. And then our brain goes, oh, okay, let's talk about value. Let's go to how to do this, how to do that. And we think about and back again to the basic stuff, right? And we move with our brain. And it's like, and then when we think about, okay, how to do these 10 things, how to do that, and we give them how-tos, then we get into this mental regurgitation of the same things that we have heard about, we have understood about, but haven't embodied, but we think that we should do it because it provides value, correct? But here, what I'm referring to is embodied value. And what I mean by embodied value, it means that these are not just the things that I hear about, understand, but these are the things that I truly believe in and I live by, right? I live by these things. I live by what I'm sharing. I live by the value that I'm sharing. Live by these strategy. I live by this energetics. I live by this belief, okay? So because we want content to meet you where you're at, we want content to meet you where your embodiment is at this current level, we're gonna create value from that place. So when people follow us, value tugs onto their mental decision to follow us. The brain looks at the profile and is like, okay, ooh, this is gonna be helpful for my business. She has this idea that actually is very cool. Let me try to implement that into my business. So value are the little nitty gritty bits of information that people can take. They're concise, they are valuable, they're relatable, they're short and specific that they can take and they can implement right away into their business. Those are your value bits of information, right? And under value, we can categorize it under many different things that you're doing, and you'll see how this also ties back into your sales as well. The first thing I have is elements of your offer, right? Write specifically about your offers. If you are running a group program or you're running one-on-one. If you're running a group program, talk about your modules. How like you have, let's say you have 5 modules. Every single module can be broken down into 10 different pieces of topics that you can talk about. 10 different pieces of topics, right? And if you have 5 modules, you literally have 50 different pieces of content that you can elaborate on. And here, what I'm not asking for you to literally have the entire module posted. I'm asking you to like extract a thread of consciousness from a thought in that module, in your group program, in your group teaching, just a thread of consciousness. Pull it out and write on it. That's it. And then what you'll come to realize is that as you write and expand on that thread of consciousness, you're gonna see there's going to be more things that come out of that. And you're gonna be like, ooh, okay, I can split it into a different post now. And out of that, I get 2 posts already, right? So that's another piece of element that you can bring into play. And if you're somebody who's new, you're in the beginning stages of your business, and you only have one-on-one content, right? You only have one-on-one offer, but that's still amazing because that just means you have everything to talk about. What are some of the things that you have planned to talk to your one-on-one clients about? What are some of the topics? Same thing. Break those topics down. Be as specific as you want. Go into as much detail as you want, right? Translate that into like a post format. And let's say you have 4 main topics in your business, right? Under those 4 main topics, write down the different elements under each one of these topics. Let's say under sales, what is sales? What do you believe about sales? What is the sales energetics in your business? Do you believe that one should be selling consistently? What does consistently mean in sales? What's the energy behind sales? How do you interact in a sales conversation? What's the energy behind that conversation, right? What are some of the sales strategies that you like to think about and you have implemented in your business? And let's say you are a feminine business coach. What's the feminine sales energy, right? You are a manifestation coach. How do you manifest? What's the manifesting energy behind sales? What is the energy that you believe in that's gonna get this sale through in a way that's aligned for you and for your business, right? You have a business, you have a one-on-one offer that's about womanhood, reclaiming your womanhood. What are some of the things that makes up this womanhood? Emotional, like let's say you have emotional intelligence as one of the elements. Under emotional intelligence, what are different cases, what are different scenarios that you can use emotional intelligence? What does it look like? What does it mean? How does it come up? And how do you move through it, right? So there you go. You have so many ideas just from your offers alone, just from your work alone, right? Of course, our social media is about our work. A main chunk of it should be about our work. And this is why we're focusing a lot about the elements of your offer, because that is what ultimately will lead to the sale. But there are other elements at play, which we're going to talk about in just a bit, that will bring in the rest of the pieces of the puzzle of your sale and of your content creation. So there is no need to hold back on your value. Most of the time, what I hear is, okay, if I literally put everything on social media, then what do I have to deliver? Like, I just gave all the information away. But that's not true, because the way that you're listening to this is gonna be very different. I can literally put whatever I'm saying into a social media post, but you may still not get it until I explain it to you. I have posted the framework in the comments, and when you read through it, you may not get it until I explain to you the energetics and the strategy behind it, the why behind it. And then you'll get it. Then it embodies even deeper, right? So it's the same thing. It's completely, entirely different experience. The way that they're gonna consume information on your social media is gonna be completely different from the way that they're gonna consume information in your paid offers, whether that's group program or whether that's in your one-on-one. Even if it's the same thing, it's gonna feel different. They're gonna experience it differently. It's gonna integrate with them differently because it's going to be more in person. There's an energy behind it, and it just comes through very differently. It just lands differently. So yeah, give away all the value you can give away. Give away good, useful, beneficial information that they can take right away and implement. Okay? So that is our number one element under elements of your under value, which is elements of your offer. The second thing is still under value, is called presence embodiment. And what I mean by presence embodiment, it just means living. It just means being present in your current life, being fully aware and mindful of what you're doing from a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. And the reason I say that is because people think creating content means you gotta sit down and batch create content. You gotta sit down and write all the things that you're gonna be posting on Monday, on Wednesday, on Tuesday, and you're gonna have the timestamp and you're gonna batch create it, and then you're gonna send it into this automated thing that's gonna post it for you. That's not how it works. As a soulpreneur, as somebody who has set up their business and business model entirely with the context of expressing the work, the deepest work of your soul, as an expression of your soul, you gotta nourish that soul. You gotta be a clear channel for the things that you do, for your work, right? And in order for you to do that, you gotta go live your life, right? The whole reason that you have this business, the genesis of your business, was because you lived your life. You're living your life so fully, so purely, with so much presence, that your work has such depth in it that it benefits other people. That's how it has come about to be a business. So if the heartbeat and the soul of your business is you, is being present, is embodying the present moment and living your life, then you should go live your life first and then create content from that space, right? So I have found that on the days and weeks where I live my life the most, there are more things and insights and realizations that come through, because it's not, the doing thing is not taking up space. The creating the content thing doesn't take up as much space. It's not a process that comes from outside in. You're present, you embody your work deeper, things come to you faster, more potent. You're walking down the street and you see something so cool, and then you realize something, and then you respond to that something, and then the way you responded just blew your mind, because that just deepened the embodiment of your work. And then you realize, oh, this was pretty important, right? And you're like, wow, I'm so excited to share this. So it's a feeling, it's a beautiful thought, channel messages is what comes through when there is presence embodiment, okay? The third thing under value is experiential insights. And these are the insights that come through when you're experiencing certain events, interactions, conversation, in your calls with your clients, interaction with your clients, in your DMs, with your interaction with peers in the industry, interaction with the coaching containers that you're plugged in, with your own mentors, and your overall social media. So note down. So if you have one-on-one clients, if you have a group program, note down what are some of the things that people are talking about. What are some of the questions that you get asked the most often, right? In your one-on-one call, what are some of the main themes that are coming up right now in this week or today that your clients are asking you, that are on top of their mind? In group programs, what are some of the things they are struggling about and they're asking you? Those are all very, very good places to start to create content, right? It could be mindset, it could be energetics. How can you help them move through it? The way that you help them move through it, share that. Somebody had this question. Okay, this is my take on it. Share that, right? And you can also engage in your stories. That's another way to come up with a beautiful type of content. If you are not engaged in your stories, if people are not as engaged, you can always nurture your audience. You can open up the field for engagement, welcome them in. And the way you do that is obviously to show up and share yourself, connect with them, share what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are, connect with them, nurture them. And when the time is right, engage with them. And they're gonna ask you questions. They're gonna have thoughts. They're gonna have things that they may see you as an expert in and want your input. And you can take all those questions and they become the source of inspiration for some of your content, right? For your experiential insights. And if you don't have clients yet, also you can notice on what's happening on your feed, the people that you follow in your industry, right? What are some of the top things that people are talking about? And then what is your take on it? If that person who's talking about this, or this is an issue that if there's an issue that's happening, right? Somebody said something and they're talking about it, what would your take be on this? If you were going through this, if your one-on-one client were to come to you and be like, you know what, Jennifer, like, this is what I'm going through. How do I move through this? What is gonna be your take on it, right? And I think another piece that is so cool is that you can derive from your own experience. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're looking to hire your own mentor. What are you looking for in that mentor? Share that with people. If you are dealing with client boundaries, share that with people. I mean, share it in a way that you don't have to tell them that you're dealing with clients and client boundaries. You can share with them, these are the boundaries I believe in. These are the boundaries that one should have in our one-on-one container. This is what I have in my one-on-one container, and how to implement your boundaries. Why are boundaries healthy, right? As you're going through the things, because you're moving through these experiences, you are in the best position to have a stance on them, right? You're raising your prices. What does it mean? You are going through an up level. What are some of the things happening while you're going through this up level? You're dealing with, hiring people. So what are some of the things that one should look for when they're hiring and expanding and scaling? All right, the fourth thing under value is personal beliefs, right? So these are the beliefs that you're gonna notice that they're gonna come through as you do the presence embodiment, as you put out some of the elements of your offers, as you work through experiences and have experiential insights. These are the beliefs that are neither good, bad, right, or wrong. It just shows your personal beliefs. It just shows your value system. It shows what you're available for, what you're not available for. And this is what gives you that personality. This is what gives you that school of thought behind the work that makes you unique, right? It makes you unique. And when I say makes you unique, it doesn't mean that it's a completely out of this world, mind-blowing idea. It just means that a set of these different beliefs, when they come together, it makes a unique combination, and that forms your belief systems. So what do you believe about selling? What do you believe about showing up vulnerable? What do you believe about connection, about people, about selling in the DMs? What do you believe about manifestation? What's the energetics behind all these things? And these answers are going to become more and more apparent as you plug into the energy of the value elements, experiential insights, your group, your offers, your presence embodiment, and then the underlying tone is your belief system, right? So let me know how you're feeling. How is this landing? I'm gonna have a sip of water before we go into the other types of elements. We're doing really good on time, and we may be able to get through this in less than an hour. Let me know how you're feeling. Okay, so the next piece is just being so powerful, soulpreneur. Amazing. Personal story. Personal story is another one of the strongest pillar in this framework of different types of content, because personal story is what makes you unique, is what makes people think, doing great, feeling great. Is the personal story is what makes people relate to you, people connect to you. When people are scrolling, so oftentimes this is what happens, we forget that it is another human being that's scrolling on the other side of the screen. When it's a human being, human beings want connection. People want to connect with people, so give them people, right? Give them people, give them who you are as a person, as a human. What is your story? What is your accomplishment? What are some of the personal accomplishment and that have gotten you to where you are today? How did you start? What is your background story? How did you start? What are some of the things you went through? It doesn't mean that you need to have a rag to riches story. It just means that show them your journey. Share with them your journey. No matter where you're at, which level you're at, you're gonna have a journey that you can share with people. Even if you just started your business, what tempted you to start this business? What kind of life are you looking to lead that called you to do this business? What is your long-term vision for yourself, for your life, for your business? How do you like to do your business, right? And what are some of the things that got you here? What are the people who got you here? And your values that got you here, you know? So those are some of the things that are very personal, and obviously you can share it to a degree that you are comfortable with, but this is what makes you personable, what makes you relatable. And from my personal experience, the difference between investing in 2 high-level mentors, the only difference is how relatable they are, right? Even if they're making like multi-million dollars, if I were to choose between the 2 mentors, 2 people to work with, I would choose with the one that I relate to the most. And what I mean by that, it means that who I resonate with the most, their personality, what is their background story, that they also come from like this corporate job, that they also go through this hustle mentality and got burnt out and traumatized with this hustle mentality. Like what's their background story? And the more the background story resonates, the more there is this pull, the more there's this attraction. And it doesn't mean that you gotta hide your background story because you just feel like you won't be relatable to people. It just means that you're gonna attract your high level hell yes clients even faster. Okay, it works to your advantage as opposed to your disadvantage. And this is my personal favorite, the thing under personal story, sharing your personal everyday routine, right? Sharing what your routine is, and obviously share what you are comfortable sharing. And this is something that you can share in your stories. This is not necessarily something that you share on your feed. You can share on your Facebook story, you can share on your Instagram story. What are some of the things that you do? What do you walk your dogs? Do you have a dog? Do you go for a walk? You know, you see, if you're following me on Instagram at fempreneur.babe, you know that I love my matchas. I go for walks and I get my matchas very religiously. I love like getting my lashes done, right? Some of those things. And these are just some elements that people will associate you with, right? And when they associate you with this, whenever they think of, I know that when my clients think of matcha, they think of me. When some people who follow me and I go to see them, they're like, oh, I was gonna make you matcha. And I was like, oh, that's so cool that you follow me, you know what I like, and that's how you provide service to me, right? So what are some of the things that you can allow associating it with you? This is an energetics, and it's also a strategy, however you want to see it. But this is something that's just fun, right? It's a fun element that gets people liking you, that gets people sharing you. And the other piece is, well, how do you start your day? How do you guarantee that your day is a success? What are some of the things that you do? You say that you are at this level, you feel successful, you're successful. Share it with them. What are some of the things that you do that makes you feel powerful on a day-to-day basis, that gets you into this mindset of a sole entrepreneur, gets you into a mindset of a business owner, it gets you into the mindset of making sales and making money? Do you have routines? Do you do breath work? Do you work out in the morning? Like, what are your practices? Share your practices with people. And people, you're gonna find out that people who resonate with those practices are gonna come flocking to you. So this is another piece of content that you create. Share your space. If you love sharing your space, your setup, share your space, right? What you've done, accomplished for the day. What are some of the things on your agenda? Share the things that you have on your agenda, to-do lists. Okay, so we're gonna move into the third pillar, which is entertainment. I'm gonna keep this very short because entertainment is just pure fun, okay? Why do we bring in the taste of entertainment? The reason we do that is because we want to also obviously be relatable. We want to be memorable, and we want to plant a seed through joy. When people actually laugh at your content, when you entertain them, it's actually fun because you're evoking the emotion of joy, laughter, right? And now when they see your stuff, so for me, like, Reels has worked great to my advantage. People love my Reels. They remember it. Like, sometimes I have these Reels and I'm in my other containers and they're like, oh, I saw this Reel and that was so funny, right? When there is an element of entertainment, you're more memorable. So Instagram has a great strategy with Reels, and Reels doesn't have to be hard. If it's so hard for you and you're like, I just can't get behind it, then hire a mentor, learn about Reels, learn the skills, because this is what our social media platform is becoming. They're always evolving. So we gotta keep up with the trends. We gotta keep up with what's trendy, what's new, so that our business can also thrive, right? So Reels is a great way for you to introduce the element and the aspect of entertainment into your content. And the other piece is trends. Okay, so this is what I've noticed, that when your content is in the trendy vibes, it's more shared, it's more relatable. For example, during the holidays, all of December, right? I had photos that were more in the holiday vibes, like the pink suit, holiday vibes, party vibes, New Year vibes, and that just is festive. That is just pure fun. That is entertainment. That gets people talking. I have I don't know how many people have asked me where I got that pink suit from, right? So trends, when Valentine's gonna come up, and if you're a relationship coach, it's amazing for you to be talking about this. During New Year, talk about New Year goals. New Year goals, what are your plans for the new year? What do you want to do in the next year? What is your vision for the next year, your word for the next year? And as you may have seen, if you follow me on IG, I did a whole 2022 planning series of content. So that's another bank of ideas that you can plug into, right? Okay, and I think the last piece, I'm just gonna read through this. It's just very straightforward. What are some of the funny things in your life, people in your life? I know that a lot of people, they love sharing their spouses, they love sharing their boyfriend, what they're going through, and sometimes I go through the whole story, and I like it because it's just fun to watch them. It's just fun to know what's going on in other people's lives, and it makes me wanting more, makes me wanting to watch their content more, right? So this last piece is gonna be like a bonus, like an awareness point. So you can bring in more awareness into the different templates that you can use, that people may be using. Again, it's not like you have to fit in all your content into these templates. These are just templates to get the momentum going. And if you have like a full piece of content and thought and insight and realization that you want to turn into content, you're not sure, then some of these like templates may give you an idea, right? So I'm just gonna go through them and read through them. But you can find these templates. As I read through them, you're gonna be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. And then when you see other people do this, you're gonna save their post, and then you can refer back to it in the future, right? So some of the things that you may or may not have noticed are business coaches would say, what did I not do to hit my 5-figure months, right? What to do, how to scale to your 10 to 50K months. This is what I did. What do you, and let's say you are a manifestation or a fitness coach, what people think they need versus what they actually need. If you're an anger coach, it's like what people say versus what they actually mean when they say it. So these are some of the templates. I would call them templates just because people use the same wording and the same things, and then you just plug into your own content. And it's just fun because it helps you differentiate what's what, right? And you may see that I've used some of those templates in my own Instagram. So you can go through it and you can look at some of the templates, you can save them, and then in the future, when you want to come back to it, you can always have that idea and these templates to get your creativity running, right? And then when you look at other people who are using something like this, like then, before and after, right? And then and now. And like with the trendy thing that I was talking about in the new year, it was like, okay, in 2021, this is what happened. Start of 2021, end of 2021, where I was, where I'm now, right? Obviously with the weight loss thing, that's also a thing. So, or prompts and fill in the blank. Like, what are some of the prompts that gets your creativity running? What are some of the prompts that gets you to decide how good your offer is, and journal yourself into getting behind the energy of your offer. So you can use some of those templates and utilize them. Again, you don't have to adhere to it, because I don't want you to feel like you are in a box and have to adhere to these templates, but it is something that gets you thinking, right? The whole point of this entire thing, so now that I went through this entire framework, right? This whole, these 3 main pillars, value, personal story, entertainment, these 3 main framework and these 3 main pillar. The whole point of this is not that you can create batch content right now. I mean, if you feel creative after this call, for sure, go ahead and create as much as you want. But the whole point is to allow your content to be in alignment with where you are right now, to meet your embodiment at the exact level that you're at right now, right? To have your content be genuine, be fun, and spark connections, and have people be attracted and coming to your profile and interact and engage with you. So this whole masterclass was just a slice of strategy. It's just a slice of social media, right? We do rack our brains on what to post, and we think that's the whole ball game. But this is just a slice of social media. Social media is a beast. It's a beast, right? There's so many things that come into play. There's energetics behind it, there are consciousness behind it. So if you are enjoying this conversation, I'm going to share with you some of the ways that you can deep dive into this with me even deeper, right? So what we have gone through today is the what to post piece. Yes, it is a strategy. It is a library of ideas for you to plug into, but it still is only a fraction of that equation, right? So this is what I want to share with you, that there is pieces on how do I create these content? Why do I create the content in a way that attracts people? What is the attraction marketing behind it? How do I say the things that I want to say? There is a process behind this. Yes, okay, this is the element of my offer. This is what I want to share, but how do you say it so that it conveys your element, your essence? How do you say it so it conveys what the embodiment of your work is? Right? There is an expression involved. There's an energetics involved. There is consciousness is weaved behind this, right? And I want to take this to the next level. So what's coming up in my business is we have a social media program that's going to come up, whether that's end of February or beginning of March. And we're going to go through all things strategy. We're going to go through all things strategy. And I'm going to also add in some pieces of the energetics as well. We're going to go through how to create content, what to create, what is some of the expressions that come through when you create those content, and what are some of the content that attracts and converts the most clients. That is what the social media program is going to be for. It is right now at pre-sale at $555, and that's all you need to know for this pre-sale pricing as I flesh out more and more things. The next thing I want to share with you is something that I am so passionate about, and this is what I was talking about when I talk about a deeper embodiment of social media. This is my content consciousness mastermind. It's going to be starting on February 1st, and we're going to deep dive 6 weeks intensive into this hybrid group mastermind coaching style. You're going to have one-on-one hot seat coaching. We're going to go through what embodiment of social media feels like, the how, the what, the why, every single thing in creating content. And it's gonna be a very intensive thing that I've laid out, and it's gonna be really, really fun. You're gonna get real-time content feedback, and you're also gonna get Voxer. So my mastermind right now is on early bird at $4,888, and the early bird's gonna run until Tuesday. So if you feel called to join me and other ladies who are on their way to 6 figures, and you want to actually tackle and have an actual conversation about social media, tackling this giant beast and have it change the game of your social media forever, taking your online presence to the next level, then the mastermind is for you. Okay? So also in the mastermind, the social media program that's going to be coming in end of February and March is going to be included in the mastermind. So you're not only going to get the mastermind, the whole coaching thing, but you're also going to get an extra free program. And beyond that, if you want to learn about everything beyond the content, you want to learn about how I do business, my strategies in selling, in launching, attraction marketing, and offer creation, and everything that's so juicy and deepening your embodiment, and you desire support in that, this is only for the women who are looking to scale to their 6-figure year. You are desiring to scale to about 20K, 30K months and beyond that, right? It's a 6-figure, multiple 6-figure business woman. It's high level investment, and this is my one-on-one offer. It's intimate, and it has to fit both our needs. So if you desire support in that, it's available for you. Right now I only have 1 spot in my one-on-one, so hop in and jump in before I increase my prices, because I feel that for me the one-on-one container is something that I'm always evolving with, and the people that's in there, I want the people in there to evolve with me as I grow. So it is a high level investment. It's like people in there are my ride or die, and we just go on a journey and adventure. Okay, so these are some of the 3 things that will deepen the understanding of content, obviously, and more in your business. If you are interested, just DM me, message me for the links. And if you have any questions, post it in the comments here or post it in the group. Whenever I see them, I can get to it. And I will also be posting the winner of the giveaway after this masterclass. I'm going to be tagging her in this chat as well. So that is it. That was, how are we feeling? I feel so good about this masterclass. The whole point was to give you guys everything that I have found, I have embodied, and I have found to be so beneficial for my clients, even my one-on-one clients, and for you to plug into this library of ideas. And you can always come back to this masterclass whenever you feel like you're running out of ideas. The whole point is so that your content gets to feel magnetic, juicy, and fun to create, because your business should feel fun to create, right? All right, so with that being said, I love you guys, and I hope this was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on here, and I will see you soon. Bye.